Okay, so I wanted to talk about family. This thing that we're all a part of, I guess, in some way or another. Like we have the family from which we came. Maybe they still exist or they don't exist anymore, but there's still family. And then there's the family some of us have created, either with a partner and with children, or in a more communal sense with friends or colleagues or neighbors in our community. But I guess the closest family, like this bond, the blood, the DNA, I don't know, mucus is the most, like, at times it feels like that's where you get challenged the most. Like you go home, or your family comes to visit, or you're at home with your kids, or you're like in these everyday life situations, and you get challenged like a lot, and you like all the time, and it's non-stop. And I guess it's in a way a constant reminder of what you need to look into and be more perceptive of. I think when I guess especially when my parents come to visit, it's at times, it just I don't know, you feel like a kid again, or you're reliving like old scenarios, or they're triggering stuff that you sort of forgot were there, and like initially I think, and especially before, my response would be that's such a horrible reminder of the past. And then now I'm more like thinking that it's to remind me what I need to work on, like how I see other people, or how I see myself even more. Because like as a kid, I had some ideas about myself, and they were serving me at the time, I guess, for better and for worse. But I'm not that kid anymore, even though I'm, of course, the exact same. Still, I've grown through experience, and I've had insights, and maybe even some wisdom fall upon me to enable me to see these situations differently than I did before. But it's hard, it's easy to fall back into those old patterns of, well, I guess very blatantly, like the poor little me, I'm the victim. We're all just against me, and it's all a plot against me. But it's not. And I think one would be wise, or I would be wise, to remind myself, I think every day, every hour, like constantly, that I'm not the victim. I'm here because I want to be here. I want this experience. I want to learn. I want to grow. And the only way to do those things is to actually expose myself to life. If I were to sit in a dark room all alone for all eternity, I would learn very little about myself, or anything for that matter. Maybe I could think of some cool songs, I don't know, but there would be no one to sing them to. So I think, like, the challenges with families, because they're family, and now I'm thinking or talking not about like friends, but the specifics of like your brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and your kids, is that they're sort of like, I guess they're always there, right? So if you have an argument, you don't have to settle it or come, what's the term I'm looking for, make peace, I think would be a appropriate definition of the thing. Like, you don't have to make peace because it's your brother, it's your mother, or it's by blood, so it will never go away. But then again, life is short. Things can happen at the blink of an eye. And all of a sudden, it's too late. You couldn't make peace with that person anymore because that person is not there anymore. It's gone. Might not even be through the end of all ends, death, but just because people have evolved or moved on, or such a long time ago that it's not relevant anymore, but it's still there, so it just seems so important to actually look at what's in front of you and what's happening right in front of you, and actually taking action. Make peace. And I think I heard this wonderful story about, what was it like? I think it was from Marit. This monastery which had been with these monks who had been working diligently for years, and had people coming over buying their herbs and vegetables and whatnot. But then things started to sort of get sour, and people had bitterness and resentment towards each other, and that of course reflected on the people coming there or stopped coming there. So things were going not so good with the monastery. So they were like, what are we going to do? Because things are not good here and people stopped coming, so we're not doing as well as we did. And they realized they could go and talk to the wise old man in the village to hear what he had to say. So one of the monks went down there and asked him, like, things are going really bad, and it's bad for business, and it's bad for us, because there's a lot of hatred and resentment in our monastery. What are we going to do? And so the wise old man just says, one of you is Messiah. And so the monk who came there, like, what? That's it. One of us is the Messiah. Doesn't make any sense. But the wise old man didn't say anything else, and then he went back to the monastery and told all the others, like, to his great disappointment, all the wise old man had to say was that one of the monks up there were the Messiah. And I guess they were all a bit disgruntled, but then something started to happen, because what if one of them were the Messiah? So they started treating each other a little better, and well, because one of them might be our savior, the Messiah, and so then even maybe one of them themselves. So they started treating themselves a whole lot better, and the monastery became a wonderful place again. Because we tend to forget how important we all are in our own way, and that treating each other like less than, and then especially with family, because it seems it's so easy to step on our family members or to step on ourselves, and think looking at each other and, well, maybe it's the Messiah. It's a good start. Because then maybe we could treat each other, a little bit better. And maybe even ourselves. Because we're good people. All of us. Not just a select few. All of us. And in a broader term, and even though 7 billion is a very big number, we're all family. And I think it would be wise of us to remember that when we walk past each other on the street, or while commuting or driving in traffic, or at the shop, or wherever, whenever. We're all family, and we're all the Messiah.